Hello, we are here for one more lesson of this T-Flex CAD training course, and the topic for today will be about construction entities. We have many types of construction entities in T-Flex. So we have the lines, which are the basic ones, circles, nodes, ellipses, functions, paths, and we will see a little about them all. Before I start to show you these entities, a brief explanation about how to work with these construction entities. We will see along the course that basically there are two types of ways which we can use to work in T-Flex. We can choose the parametric way, and the parametric way has these construction lines as base. So if we create some entities, we will base like this, for example. I will explain you. So all of these are construction entities, and then we have a new type of entity called the graphic line, and we will use the construction entities to draw on top of them. So the idea here is if we change the relations or the dimensions of the construction entities like this, so the graphic lines that are on top of these will change also. And this is the basic of the parameterization on the system. So we can work like this, or we can work directly with a sketch, which is a word that almost everybody knows in terms of the CAD. So we will follow the way of the parameterization because this is the correct way to work and the correct way to take advantage of the system. So this is what we will use. So starting with lines, it's a basic entity. To draw these construction entities, we should be inside this draw menu. Then we have all of these icons, and we have this construct. And in construct we have the lines, or we can go here, we have more options that are also inside of this auto menu that appears. So lines, we have many types. Usually what I do to start it is create a two crossing line, which is the base or the origin of my following construction lines. I can use this as an origin. After I created this origin, then I start to create lines that have relation with this basic one. So if I want to create a parallel line to this, I will click in my horizontal one, just drag and click it where I want, or just say the distance here, okay? The same for the horizontal line, okay? And this way, the method I'm using is that if I change this line now, if I click on the line, you see that this line has a relation with the line that is the origin. If I create a line that has this one as a reference, for example here, then if I change this one, this middle line that was referenced as at a distance of this green one that I'm moving, will move accordingly. So we need to have attention to this. What is the relation between entities? And this is a completely different approach to the method of drawing in terms of parameterization that most of the other systems use. Okay, I'm not particularly worried about having a sketch with all the correct relations, because the system is smart enough to create these relations along my work. Okay, so lines again, we saw already creating this origin. Then if I want specifically an horizontal line, okay, I can create one. So horizontal lines, vertical lines, these are normal lines which I can use in very different ways. Like, for example, selecting a node and giving an angle also. So it's quite easy to work with this. Let's create one line here, another one for this side. I can select a node and create a line also, okay. I can select tangent circles to create lines or ellipses or splines. So basically it's just selecting and things start to appear. Like, for example, other things like creating a symmetry. So if I click in this line and on this line, automatically will create a new one. So this is very, very easy to work with. Another important concept is that every function has this icon here, which is called parameters. And if I click on it, I open a dialog box where I have the parameters of the lines I'm creating, okay? If I say color, if I change to this blue look, then if I create a new line, has this kind of appearance. So it's very easy. Another concept important to retain is that I can do the addition, and the addition will work according to the object I'm using. So if I want to edit this object, okay, I can click on it and change things here, okay. Then we have, for example, and going to another type of entity, the circles. The circles have many different ways to work with, and for all of these functions we have a lot of shortcuts that you can see in detail in our theoretical side of the course. I think it's no need because in this video, because it will create it as a very long video to see the shortcuts. As you can see, for example, also for the circles, if I want to create tangents, okay, it's very easy because I just need to select entities, going to black again. If I want one circle and one line, if I want circle, circle, it's quite easy. If I want, instead of giving the center, I can create something also like this. So besides the shortcuts, almost everything I can do it with the clicks. So it's very easy to work. Again, we have the same, the parameters, and we have the addition. So I can go here and change this circle and something will happen. And as you can see, if I change my circle, I can change it in many different ways, but the system will keep the relations that were created according to the position and the constraints that automatically were done by the tangencies in this particular case. For example, I can create something like this. I can create a circle, tangent, going here, and I can create a line, comes from here, tangent to this guy here. Now if I want to edit this, I can call the command or just EC, which is the addition. I can say this line is tangent to the circle. I want to change the constraint, not tangent. Not tangent, not in this side, not oblique. I want to create a straight line now. So if I click on the entity, I will use this icon here to modify line relations, and it was related to this one, and I will create a new line, so a little here, probably has other relations that will not let the line to be created in this particular case. We can try later with a less already crazy drawing, because I was creating different things around here, and maybe there are some not so good entities to change now. Oh yes, the problem was this one. Okay, it was the relation that has also with this line here. So besides the circles, we have also the ellipses. The ellipses is it's not a kind of element very important in terms of mechanic, but it's quite easy to create. So I can use these. I can create relations also with the lines, and now I can say tangent to this one, and basically I can create something like this. In this particular case, it was a circle, not an ellipse, because these lines have the same distance to the center point. But ellipse is quite easy also to create. More important than the ellipses, we have the nodes, and the nodes are special entities. Basically, a node is a point, and we have different types of nodes. The most common one is to create a node on the intersection points of entities, but we have other types of entities in terms of nodes, like for example one that is called a free node. So we can create a node like this one, okay, and I can create entities passing through a node like this. What happened now, it is that if I change my node in here, the line will go along, okay? If I change this one, this is a node that it's on the intersection of these two entities, so I cannot move this guy here freely. If I do this, okay, then it will move, because it will make something according to the entities that is related to, but not the node itself, okay? Different things, and the nodes, it is in fact a very important entity. Again, we can create also, if we click on the node, we can change the parameters. All of these things are common to different commands. We have also another command that is called Spline. So Spline, not a very common entity also, but Spline we can use free nodes or not, okay? It depends on what we want, and Spline it is created. Again, if it is a free node, I can move it. If it is a node that has this characteristic here, it will change according to the geometry changed. Besides the offset, we have also something, besides the spline, we have also something called an offset curve. And an offset curve is created by the offset of some geometrical objects, like the splines or the ellipses, or another one that we still did not see, the functions. So if I create an offset, I choose my entity and I can give a value, okay? In this particular case, or this particular case, I can do something like this, okay? We have also something called the function spline, and the function spline, I will not show it here, but basically it's a construction line that is defined by a mathematical expression, okay? We have some examples in our theoretical course, so these are important functions, and in some particular cases quite useful to create these expressions, these curves based in formulas. But I would say that for the normal daily work is not so important. For last, we have something called the path. And the path is a construction line that passes through a sequence of nodes and entities, because if I choose the path, I can create it from nodes, okay, you see, to these intersections, then I can follow my entities, okay, something like this, for example, and I get options in here to close it or not, and when I'm satisfied, okay, then in this particular case, you see, I have this path, and this path can be used for many things, okay, for offsetting, for example, okay, I can create an offset, or to create tubes, many things. Again, I have these parameters that I can use, for example, for changing the color of my entities. It's quite easy also. And this resumes a little the construction entities we have at our disposal. I would like to show you, besides the example that we were not able to see, and I will try to replicate it. It is important to notice also that this kind of construction entities, if the drawing starts to become complex, it will populate your drawing a lot, and sometimes it's a little confusing on what we are seeing and what we want to see. So we can control this visibility with the levels, for example. So if I click in this entity, for example, and say, oh, this entity in particular, I want to put it on level 1, okay? This is a spline. If I come here to levels, and I say all construction, I will see I want to visible only from 1 to 127, so what is on the 0, and by default it is 0. The nodes also 1. So basically I can only see the only entity I'm having on the level 1. Everything, all the rest is on the level 0. So this is a quite good way and very practical to control visibility. So I can work with these functions, which are very useful. And this comes from minus, for all of these types of entities, from minus 126 to 127 positive. So I can work with this also in a very convenient way and very easy way. So last, let me try to replicate the function I was trying to show to change the relation between the entities. So creating a tangent circle to two lines, and now going here, tangent to this one. So if I click on this guy here, so EC for addition, this guy here, and now I say I will change the relation regarding this guy here. So, and I will put it a little to the right. Okay, this is lost, so I cannot do it. Let me try to create a new one, because it was important to show you this this element. So again, circle tangent, and so you see I grab it. So tangent to this guy here. Now EC again, change the relation to this guy. No, I cannot do it. Not today. Basically, I hope this was clear regarding the construction line use and how to work this. I will recommend that you see the drawings that we are releasing with many different and I think simple examples regarding both 2D and 3D. 3D a little it's still early to start watching and understanding the commands and the method of creating things, because we are in the first lessons of this course, so we are dealing first with the 2D. But you can start seeing different examples, different techniques of what is possible to do to work with this part of the program, some configurations that are needed in some specific cases in terms of the fonts, the sizes, the size of the paper, the colors, the levels, all of these things. So it will give you, I think, a good base to start understanding how to work with the program. Anyway, for any question that you might need deeper clarification, you can contact us, and we will have something to say to help you clarifying all your questions and what is less clear after seeing this video.